Hey, good Monday morning to you. I'm over here at the light table and I'm just getting some items ready to be shipped. I only had a total of 3 items sell this weekend. It was a pretty garbagey weekend in sales. Sometimes I'll have between 10 and 20 items that sold throughout the weekend. That was definitely not the case this weekend. I did sell this Krups coffee grinder. It sold for $12.74 plus the buyer paid $10.13 shipping. I think I picked that up at the Salvation Army for probably like $2 or $3. I sold this Pokemon trading cards game. I got that in a lot of stuff that I got from Tom a couple weeks ago. That sold for $19.99 plus the buyer paid $3.99 shipping. And I think the best sale of the weekend wasn't even a weekend sale. I think it was Thursday when I listed those wooden cars. Some of them were the Montgomery Schoolhouse cars. I separated them into 2 separate lots. And somebody sent me a reasonable offer Friday of $90 plus $10.75 shipping, so I accepted. And they're getting all of those items right there. I had them pre-boxed, all set to go, and I think they were pretty reasonably packed. The buyer sent me a message and asked me if I wouldn't mind packaging all of the pieces individually. So I have to open up the box now, and I've got to put them in a bigger box. I guess, for $90, I'll do it, but, it was kind of a hassle. So I need to transfer all the cards that are already packed in there, package them up individually, and then put them in this big box. So I'm going to do that, and I'll be right with you. All right, just got back, and all of those items are packed up and ready to go. I know the lighting sucks in here, but these are the items that I photographed this weekend. Some of this stuff is stuff that I picked up over the weekend at garage sales. And I've also got a bunch of stuff that I photographed over here as well. But I gotta get this stuff off the freezer because if Mr. K comes in here and sees all this stuff on the freezer, he's gonna flip the F out. What I'll probably do is just put this stuff in a tote and get it out of the way temporarily. And when I mean temporarily, I mean I'm gonna be listing it today. Hey, how's it going? Big Josh over here at the house. I've had an interesting day. I woke up pretty early this morning and I started listing some stuff, but then I got tired and went back to bed. I woke up at noon and decided that I wanted to go over to my local transfer station and I wanted to see what they had or if they had anything at all. And unfortunately, there was nothing to be had. So then I went over to the Salvation Army and it was the same thing. I walked around for about 45 minutes just trying to find anything to buy at all. But nothing, not a single thing. So I decided to take one last shot and I went over to my friend Tom's transfer station. I ended up parking about a quarter mile away from the swap shack, and the walk up there almost killed me. With all that humidity, I was having a hard time breathing. I really didn't know if I was going to be able to make it, guys. And the reason I did that was because the people in this particular town, a lot of them are pretty snooty, and they like to kind of make a big deal out of things sometimes. Although I really don't think there's a big deal at all, really. As I was walking up there, I ran into my friend Tom. So we started looking around together, but I only found a couple of small items. If I'm lucky, it'll pay for the 15 bucks worth of gas that I used today to drive around to not find anything. I think he might have picked up a couple of items as well. But it was good to see my pal Tom. He actually gave me a ride back to my van, thank God. Hey, what's going on, friends? It's the next day, which is Wednesday. It's been a pretty unproductive day today. I did sell and pack a few items this morning, but I haven't listed anything. I had Leonard Skinnard order an original Hitachi RD4052 replacement lid. This individual paid $8.46 plus $5 shipping. I sold this Gold's Gym handball kit, $7.64, free shipping. I don't think I made any profit on that. In fact, I think I might have even lost $1, but at least I didn't lose the $3 or whatever I paid for it. I've had this Corgi fire truck sitting around for quite a while. In fact, I think I listed it back in July 2020. I had it up there for $12 or $13. I had one watcher and I just sent him an offer of $10 and they immediately accepted. The best sale of the day was probably this vintage Krups 708 food processor. I got that a few months ago at the Salvation Army for a few dollars, and it sold for $42.49 plus the buyer paid $8.85 shipping. And they said thank you. How nice of them. I've got one order that sold so far. It was that Pelican 1300 case. It sold for $38.24, plus the buyer paid $14.20 shipping. I got this at more than a thrift for $10, so I should be able to make about 25-ish. That's pretty much all that I've sold over the last couple of days. My sales have been, but I imagine because of the summer slowdown, there's probably a ton of people that have slow sales. I also got another return on that broken PlayStation 2 that I sold. I sold it specifically as broken, and I sold it in the parts as is category. But apparently there was something that I didn't mention in the description, and the buyer wanted a refund. So I really didn't want to hassle around with it, and I just gave them a refund. I think they only paid like $15 for it, but I paid like $13 and change to ship it out. I shipped it out in a medium flat rate box. He said that he could hear some stuff flying around inside and that the controller port wasn't working. I was a little bit disappointed with the situation because when I sell things in that broken category, I expect that the buyer is basically getting what they get, but they did hear some things that were like rattling around inside of the unit. So that's why I decided just to let them have it. Whenever I'm doing these types of things, I wish I could just make a blanket description that says, consider everything you see on this item to be broken and useless. That way there's no confusion in what they're getting. The last month or two has just been terrible on like returns and issues with trying to get insurance claims paid. And it's just been, I think, really eating at me. I'm kind of taking a step back right now from the hardcore thrifting. And there are several reasons for this. A lot of it has to do with I'm just having a hard time getting around right now. I've been putting some weight on. So I'm trying to focus more on my health. But also I've been noticing there just hasn't been a whole lot of good stuff to buy. At least not that I'm seeing. You know, yesterday was a very frustrating day. You know, I drove around to the Salvation Army. I went to 2 different transfer stations. And the only thing I found were some pieces of junk over at Tom's transfer station, and that was all that I found for the whole day. And it bothers me when I'm doing stuff like putting out $15 in gas, and that's my return. I feel like my time and money has just been completely wasted. It's a tough pill for me to swallow. So it's possible that I could go out a couple times a week, maybe once or twice, but I'm really trying to focus on staying home. I feel like during the summertime, like July and August, people just aren't purging the way they are in other months. I mean, you do see some garage sales, but most of the garage sales you see are like in May and June, and then in like September and sometimes October. So maybe it's a situation where people are, you know, not wanting to mess around with that kind of stuff. They want to have vacations or whatever. I picked this little fella up yesterday at Tom's transfer station. It's from 1995, Streetwise Designs. It's got some damage right here on the arm and on the top. It actually sells for like $25 plus shipping when it's in good condition, but this won't sell for anything near $25. But maybe I can get $10 for it and somebody will use it as a display piece or something. And then I saw a Sunbeam Oscar on the shelf, and it's the 14081, which is the bigger one. And I grabbed the bowl off the machine and I just left the motor there. They never sell and they take up a lot of room. I usually sell this right here as a set for about $20 to $25 free shipping. Hey, it's a few hours later and we just watched a few episodes of the old Sopranos. We ended up having some leftover pulled pork barbecue that was left over from the 4th of July. I went to my uncle's house and he got some catered Puerto Rican food and it was very good. I didn't realize my uncle sent us home with any of that, but I'm glad that he did. He also sent us home with a Keurig machine. Apparently there's a problem somewhere where a switch is sticking, and whenever something goes bad, he just throws the whole thing away and gets a new one. I'm just going to end up throwing that main unit away, but what I am interested in is this drip tray and this water tank. It looks like somebody recently sold one of those drip trays for $19.99 plus $4.90 shipping, so I'm hoping I can also do the same. It looks like the water tanks also sell for between $25 and $30 plus shipping. I'm always happy when somebody's getting ready to throw something away, but they give it to me instead so I can make a few bucks on it. It helps the environment and Big Josh. My friend Tom sent me a message tonight, and apparently there's some type of estate sale going on in Chesterfield, New Hampshire tomorrow from 9 to 2. It's going to be Thursday through Sunday, but I might just go tomorrow early so I can try to get the good stuff. Lately, I've been having somewhat of a difficult time trying to find, a lot of good stuff. I've been finding a little bit, but I've really been having to work for it, and some days are a complete bust, just like yesterday. So I might just roll out there tomorrow and see if I can find something. So far tonight, I've sold a NuFace facial toning device. I picked this up at that auction sale where I found hundreds and hundreds of dollars worth of stuff for 60 bucks. This sold for a best offer of $40, plus the buyer paid $13 shipping. I also sold this clock for $12 plus shipping. I picked it up at the Salvation Army for $3, but I had to sell it as is because it's running a little bit slow. Somebody also purchased a PlayStation video game called Army Men Air Attack 2, and they paid $10.95 free shipping. Right now I'm trying to focus more on listing items as opposed to trying to hunt for them. There are still deals to be had, but I've got plenty of merchandise right now. Right now I just feel like with the small amount of stuff that I'm finding, my time could be better spent listing items and making money. So I think I'm going to go get started on that, and I've got a few hours left before I go back to sleep. It might even be a late night, I'm not sure. But anyway, guys, wish me luck, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a great night.